Welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're diving into a genuinely universal experience, something that touches literally every single one of us. We're talking about the art of finding meaning in life's struggles. Look, we all go through those dark times where the weight of the world just feels, well, almost too heavy to carry. But what if I told you that those exact moments of immense difficulty might actually hold the key to your greatest purpose? We're going to take a deep dive into how shifting our perspective can completely transform how we experience hardship. So think about this for a second. When life gets genuinely hard, where do we actually find the reason to keep going? Honestly, it's the ultimate human question. When that alarm goes off and you're staring down a day filled with overwhelming challenges, what is it that actually gets you out of bed? Well, the amazing truth we're unpacking today is that every struggle hides a deeper meaning. And uncovering that meaning, that's what gives us the strength to not just endure the tough stuff, but to actually push forward with real hope. Okay, let's dive into this. We really have to start by acknowledging a fundamental truth, and it's a tough one. Pain, sorrow, and hardship are just inevitable. Nobody gets a free pass in life. But here is the absolutely crucial distinction. While pain is unavoidable, kind of like having to walk through pitch black darkness, how we view that darkness determines pretty much everything. If you keep your eyes locked on a distant light, your entire journey changes. It's definitely not about pretending the pain doesn't exist. It's about fully acknowledging it, and then choosing to look for the light that guides your future anyway.
This brings us to a really foundational concept. There's a saying, if you have a why to live, the how becomes easy. Basically, if you know your specific, burning reason for living, surviving the hardship, the how of it all, becomes a totally manageable journey. Meaning isn't just about fleeting moments of happiness. Let's be real, happiness can come and go with the weather. A true why is an anchor. And with that anchor in place, daily struggles and setbacks just become the terrain you have to cross to fulfill your bigger purpose. Now, what's really interesting here is the profound contrast between two very different approaches to life, the pursuit of mere happiness versus the pursuit of responsibility. Chasing joy all the time, it often leaves us feeling pretty empty when things get tough, mostly because joy is just a reaction to good circumstances. But contributing to society, fighting for your family, or pouring your absolute soul into a lifelong dream, man, that brings so much deeper fulfillment. It requires you to shoulder responsibility. And ironically, taking on that very weight is what gives your life the substance you need to weather literally any storm. So, how do we actually do this in the real world? Let's look at a totally actionable toolkit for finding meaning. It really boils down to three primary paths. Number one is contribution. This is all about what we give back to the world, like a dedicated teacher guiding their students. Number two is relationships. This means living for the people we deeply care about, like a parent nurturing a child. And number three, and yeah, this is often the hardest one, is accepting pain. When someone bravely battles an illness and actively learns from that suffering, rather than just surrendering to despair, they are creating immense, powerful meaning. But listen, all of this requires a massive mindset shift. We often can't change our external circumstances at all, but we absolutely retain total power over our perspective. Ask yourself right now, why do I live? Think as a tiny flower managing to somehow bloom right out of a crack in a solid stone. That flower didn't choose the stone, right? But it found a way to grow anyway. Hardships are exactly like that cracked stone. They aren't just roadblocks. They are incredible opportunities to recognize your own strength and grow through them. Let's move to how this builds into our actual day-to-day lives. How do we apply this profound, ancient philosophy to our modern, chaotic routines? Well, in today's highly stressful world, actively finding your meaning is basically the ultimate hack for mental peace. We're all constantly pulled in a million different directions, right? Career pressures, relationships, health concerns, it's a lot. Having a clearly defined purpose acts as that stabilizing anchor we talked about. It helps you balance all those competing demands by giving you a filter. You instantly know what truly matters and what is just background noise. And this brilliantly illustrates what I like to call the ultimate equation of life. Meaning equals struggle plus responsibility plus hope. Think about it. You really can't have meaning without some form of struggle. It's the friction that creates the spark. Then, add to that the responsibility you actively choose to take on for your loved ones or your biggest goals. Finally, multiply all of that by hope for the future. When you combine your personal struggles with your chosen responsibilities and a hopeful vision of tomorrow, you generate a deeply, profoundly meaningful life. We've covered some incredibly powerful ground today. Always remember, struggle is inevitable, for sure. But finding meaning, that is the real art. And you are the artist of your own life. The pain, the sudden challenges, the long, hard nights, those are just the raw materials sitting on your canvas.
It is entirely up to you to craft them into a masterpiece. Your responsibilities, the people you love, and your boldest dreams, those are your absolute ultimate reasons to keep pushing forward. So the very next time you find yourself walking through the dark, I want you to pause and ask yourself, what is this struggle preparing me for? The answer to that question might just change your life. If this explainer resonated with you and empowered you to find your purpose in the chaos, subscribe, like, and share my channel.